And a very good evening to everybody. It is 6 o'clock on the dot. This is Christopher Daigen coming to you from our home in KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday, the 24th of July. This is our in-concert session of Saturday concert classics. On this day, this Saturday, is our classical program, and I've got a very special, I think pretty spectacular program for you tonight. So I really hope that you can join us for the next hour. I'll be playing a program of music entirely by Frédéric Chopin, and I know he's a great favorite of many and certainly a great favorite of mine. Of course, once again, these streams, this live stream program is going out absolutely free to pay or free to view. There's no gating on it. If you are able to support us, if you are watching this and you are enjoying it and you are watching regularly in particular, we are really grateful for any donation or support. We're relying entirely on the generosity of our viewing public to support us and to make these programs possible, and also to help me earn a living during these rather precarious times. Now, we had a great deal of excitement in the house yesterday. As many of you know who've been watching, my partner Barry runs the technical side of the show. He runs the stream, the switching between cameras, setting up the camera angles, etc. And Barry is a well-known author in South Africa, not only an academic, but well-known for his work of 28 years ago writing The Living Deserts of Southern Africa. And in the last 2 years, he's been working very, very hard, 2.5 years working very hard on revising, completely rewriting the book and taking numerous photographs. And I have right here yesterday the very, very first copy of this revised edition, the new edition of The Living Deserts of Southern Africa. I feel very privileged to be holding this. This is the only copy in public hands of this book. So congratulations to Barry. Well done on his incredible work. And it will be only launched and only available in September. So if you are interested, I'm sure many of you actually might already have the first edition of this and would love to see how things have changed and what Barry has to say about his revised views and updated research, gathering all the latest research from around the world into these various regions. And you'll have to wait until September, but you can also visit Barry's website. Barry's going to bring up an image of the book, barrylovegrove.com, where you can find out more about the book. There's actually a number of pages, preview pages. You can see exactly what it looks like and what's entailed. It's a beautiful hard copy book, lovely size. It's great to travel with if you're ever going to the deserts, the Namib, Kalahari, Karoo. It's used as a textbook in various universities around the world. Was the first edition, and it's certainly, if you're interested in desert ecology and the understanding of the desert climate in the Southern African region, it's a must-have. It's the go-to guide for everyone who's interested. And the second issue, which does relate to this evening's program, which I've been spending quite some time this week watching, are the preliminary rounds of the International Chopin competition, which took place in Warsaw. And I've been watching 85 pianists or 86 pianists playing through quite a specific repertoire. And it was very interesting, and I've learned so much from watching these incredible production, beautifully produced, wonderful sound, great images from Warsaw. You can see these all still at the Warsaw. If you go to the Chopin Institute on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll be able to see all these productions. And as I said, they played quite a limited repertoire for this preliminary round, and only a number will go through to the next round, which is in October. But it was so inspiring. I mean, these are young pianists. Some people said to me, well, why aren't you playing in this competition? I think the age limit's 23 or 25, as is with most of these competitions, international piano competitions, which is I'm a bit past that at this point. Beyond that age, but it was really, really inspiring to see the incredible polish and detail and the expertise and the amazing playing, and really fascinating to see many of the same pieces are played again and again and again. I think the ballade, the fourth Chopin ballade, The jury listened to over 40 interpretations of it. And while everyone plays brilliantly, it's just minor details in the timing that really add up as to how the pianist is able to control the structure of the work, and the minor details, the minor inflections that just give it something extra. So in this evening's program, I am going to be playing one of Chopin's greatest works, the Piano Sonata No. 3. Chopin decides in the end, towards the end of his life, as the most mature, at the height of his maturity, it's the last months that he's still with Georges Sand in 1844, and he decides to tackle this idea of composing a grand sonata, a sonata in 4 movements. He had composed, the first sonata was actually an Opus 1, it's a piece that no one really plays, a very youthful piece. The second sonata, the famous Funeral March Sonata, and then he decides to tackle this idea again in the third sonata, bringing up this German romantic idea and the legacy of Beethoven and Schubert, composing a grand sonata in 4 movements. Most of Chopin's music is in short pieces, waltzes or nocturnes, or more slightly extended pieces like ballades or scherzi. But then he has this sonata, the Sonata No. 3, and it wasn't very well received at the beginning when it was first premiered. Liszt apparently didn't think it was a good work, but subsequently it has won acclaim as one of the great romantic works. And for some Chopin authors and scholars, they have written that this sonata in fact incorporates some of Chopin's most beautiful and magnificent music. So do hang around, it's an extended work. It's about 30 minutes long, but before that and after that I'm going to preface and end the program with a nocturne. I just feel we need to fill up that time, and the nocturnes are so beautiful, and I'm going to come back to a piece, a nocturne which I have played many times. This is the Nocturne Opus 55, number 2 in E flat, and again something just listening to these pianists this week, these young pianists, and listening again to the style and what works and what doesn't. I'm taking a slightly different approach in this piece. So this is a nocturne in E flat, Opus 55, to start this evening's Chopin selection. To start off this evening's selection of Chopin's music, that was the Nocturne, Opus 55, number 2 in E flat. And I forgot to mention, it is bitterly cold. My hands are cold, cold, cold. So we need some pace, I think, to warm things up. It's incredible how cold it has. I don't think I've ever experienced such cold, even though I've lived in Pietermaritzburg for much of my life as a child and also the last 27 years. It seems to have just been colder than ever before, or maybe I'm just getting old. So I'm going to move on to the Sonata No. 3, as I said, thought to contain some of Chopin's best work. Chopin here is inspired by, as I say, Beethoven, Schubert, and Brahms, and this idea of a German romantic sonata, a multi-movement sonata, a substantial first movement. Chopin writes a very light, ethereal scherzo in the second movement, much like Beethoven would have done in the Opus 26 sonata, which we had a few weeks ago. A beautiful extended nocturne in the third movement, and then a very brilliant rondo, a theme that comes back 3 times and full of cascading interludes for the fourth movement. And one of the things about playing music like this, I mean, I have played this piece 2 or 3 times over the past 25 or 30 years, is that it is a lot of notes and there's a lot going on. It is a grand piece, not only in terms of its brilliance and its length, but also in terms of the wealth of ideas and the number of ideas and how they are melded together and the contrasts that you create over this 25, 30-minute time span. I would love to be able to play this music from memory again, but with the number of concerts, the number of programs I'm doing, it's just too risky. So I am going to use my iPad. But it's a really extraordinary piece, and often it's played in a very grand manner in a large concert hall with the microphones and the live streaming media. And I'm sure many of you are sitting quite intimately at home, comfortably with your headphones or maybe by the fire. I'm sure you don't need to be blasted away by a grand tornado of sound. So I'm actually adopting a more intimate approach that I think is going to be suitable to this live stream nature. And as I say, there are 4 movements to the sonata. It is really an extraordinary piece of music. This is the Sonata Opus 58, the third sonata by Frédéric Chopin. Well, that was the last movement, the 4 movements there, the grand first movement of so many beautiful themes strung together, very brilliant and light scherzo, very heartfelt and I think quite deeply moving nocturne for the 3rd movement, and then that brilliant rondo to finish off. As I've always said, it's so tricky playing somewhere, knowing this music in my head and not being able to focus on it completely in my fingers and sort of dividing my attention between the reading on the page, because I'm just not able to keep all of these pieces in my head at once as much as I'd like to. 139 live streams later is quite a thing to undertake. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's a magnificent piece of music, the Sonata No. 3 in B minor by Frédéric Chopin. And just to end off then this evening's program on another very beautiful and gentle note, I'm going to end off with a nocturne in E major, opus 62, No. 2. As I said, the sonata was a grand ambition, a grand attempt at for Chopin to really absorb this great German romantic tradition in the style of Beethoven, Schubert, and Brahms, and that piece was composed during the last months of his relationship with Georges Sand. Unfortunately, that all became a little bit unstuck. Their happy holidays at her holiday house at Nohant, and where they were accompanied by artists and many visitors, well as Chopin's happiest times, his real brilliance as a composer was encouraged and he shone forth. And shortly after that, the relationship ended very bitterly and very badly. And Chopin actually composed very little in the last months of his life. Oh, and look who we've got here. Here is little Lucy and little Wendy Pop. Hello, little Lucy. Oh, yes, you've heard the music finish, so you came running through. Yes, we heard lots of noise. You've been hearing that same piece. You've been practicing that, I don't know what it is, but I recognize those notes for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we're tired of it. You must stop practicing that piece. How's little Luce? Luce, you've still got your bow. Look, you've still got a little bow in your hair because you went to the parlor, and you still smell all fluffy and powdery because you are so sweet. And Luce, who's the sweetest little Dachshund girl in the world? Is it you? Are you the sweetest little one in the world? Hands up. Yes, it's me. Little Luce, the long-haired Dachshund. Hello, Lucy. Look, your pink bow is still there. And you've been behaving. Yes, you've had a beautiful day lying in the sun and doing all sorts of nice things. And let's see who else we've got here. Here, let's see. Wendy Pop's also ready to come up before we have the last nocturne. Hello, Wendy Pop. You want to go? Wendy Pop, you're facing the wrong way. There we go. There we go. Little Wendy Pop. Wendy Pop, what have you also been having? No, you haven't ever been to the parlor. You don't need to go to the parlor. No, because you've got a short-haired Dachshund. There we go. Also sweet. And then let's see if Frida Pop's going to come up. Frida's also here. Frida's wearing a Sharks jersey. There we go. Frida, look. Show everyone your Sharks jersey. Is Barry going to zoom in on your Sharks jersey for this one? There we go. Look. Yeah, Frida's. Look how cute you are. Are you struggling a little bit with the cold, Frieds? Your back's a little bit sore, I think. Yeah. It is. Look, there's your Sharks jersey. Keep your back sore and your little foot's going when I'm scratching. And do you also, no, you haven't been to the party. You don't go to the parlor. You don't go to Wags and Tails parlor. You only go to Dr. Peter. Yeah, unfortunately. You've been there a few times this year. Okay, girls. Oh, my microphone's fallen off. Okay, off you go there. Let me just piece this one back on. Okay, everyone's waiting for the music. Okay, one little pat each. Come in your basket. Off you go there. So as I said, I'm going to end off then this evening's program with a nocturne composed after the sonata. That was opus 58, a nocturne opus 62 in the last months or last years of Chopin's life. He wrote these 2 nocturnes, opus 62, which are so beautifully jeweled. They're just such incredibly delicate but rich compositions and have a certain resignation to them, and it just seems a perfect fitting to this evening's rather chilly evening. Very cold here, and a wonderful end to this evening's program. The Nocturne Opus 62, number 2 in E major, the last nocturne that Chopin wrote, is the end of this evening's program. It is just a few minutes past, 3 minutes past 7 p.m. And that does bring us to the end of this evening's selection. I hope you can join me again on Wednesday for our piano hour session, which will be light, quite entertaining music. Still trying to put together an interesting selection of music for that. And then obviously again for next Saturday, where another in-concert session, I'll be exploring some lesser heard music, not so often heard, and someone who's heard a lot, you heard a lot of hearing, is little Lucy again. You just want to have a little wags and tails back all the time. Thank you, Barry, for the support and for technical support this evening, and congratulations again on your book, The Living Deserts of Southern Africa. As I say, it will only be released in September, but we have the first copy. Are you in the Living Deserts, Luce? No. I didn't think so. I was just checking. I thought maybe are you in a centerfold, a center spread of Luce in the Living Deserts? No, okay. Maybe we'll do another one. Maybe we have to have another book, something else written about the sweetest girl in the world, little Luce with a little pink bow in her hair. Yeah. Hey, Luce, it's you, the sweetest girl in the world. Brings us to an end for this evening's show. Thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again. Please support us if you can, or support me if you can. You'll find all the links to various donation possibilities at our website, musicrevival.co.za. Donate, there's a page called Donate, and you can follow all the links. And please keep supporting us. Thank you to everyone who has been an amazing support and been very encouraging, and for the people who have written messages and emails and WhatsApps already to explain to me how they enjoy and how they experience these streams, whether they're listening on their phone or whether it's live or a few hours afterwards. It's always really fascinating. I'm really enjoying reading and hearing about how everyone experiences these programs. Look forward to seeing you next week. Keep warm, keep well, keep safe, and look after yourselves.